From author Brian K. Morris comes a classic hero in a high-flying, fast-paced, and action-packed steampunk adventure. The original Skyman battles the Master of Steam with an introduction by comics icon and historian Roy Thomas. A Rising Tide, an Ace Comics publication. Available now in print or digital format on Amazon.com.
Welcome to Clever Title Pending with your host, Brian K. Morris, independent publisher, freelance hybrid author, award-winning playwright, and former mortician's assistant. Don't send him title recommendations because Brian knows exactly what he's doing. So just sit down and look pretty as Brian K. Morris scrolls through your comments and plays with his mouse. Join him on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, for Evening Pandemonium and Moonlight Madness.
Good evening, everyone. How the heck are you? Welcome to the Tuesday, October 6, 2020 episode of Nevermind the Furthermore. Glad to have you here. We've got a really special friend of mine here tonight. I'm really excited to have her here. And but anyway, thank you for watching. Whether you're watching live or on the reruns, it means a lot to us here at Rising Tide. I'm your host, Brian K. Morris, and thank you for watching us. And if you're watching on Facebook, on the Indie Vent or Rising Tide page, please give those pages a like, because we are trying to battle the evil algorithms there. And if you're watching us on YouTube, if you like what you see, please give this show a thumbs up, and please share all these videos with your friends. In fact, if you're on YouTube, on either the Geek Insider or the Rising Tide page, subscribe if you would, please, and ring that bell so you'll be notified of all future appearances. This show is brought to you by Plasma Fire Graphics. When the look of your book matters to you, check out plasmafiregraphics.com, and they are sponsoring this show. We are also powered by geekinsider.com and risingtide.pub. Now, one of the things I love doing about this show is showing off my friends. I've got some really cool friends, and all of them have a unique story to tell. And we're welcoming your comments and your questions tonight, and I'm sure you'll have plenty of them. We have tonight the one, the only, the delightful McKayla Jade. How are you tonight, sweetie?
I'm good. How are you?
So far, so good. Yes, and I apologize to everyone who tried to use the Rising Tide link. Facebook was not kind to us for some reason, so it kept giving imagine that. It kept giving me the instead of the Rising Tide logo, they gave me some sort of children's group out of Korea or something. So I don't know. But anyway, the rest of the evening will go well, and it will go smoothly. I know this because you are here to grace this show. And so the first thing we do, why don't I let you have the whole screen here, and you tell everyone who you are. I know, here we go. The countdown's starting now. Look out. It's getting real now. But anyway, tell everyone who you are, what you've done, and why you're so darn awesome.
Oh, Lord. Okay, I am author McKayla Jade. I write historical paranormal romance. I couldn't stick to just one genre. I write all kinds of stuff all the time. And right now I'm up to my second book in edits. It's going to be published. I promise it's coming because everybody's excited. So that's what I'm up to.
That's fantastic. Why don't you tell everyone what your books are? Well, I put up a banner that tells everybody how to get them.
My books are historical paranormal romance, like I said. They focus on awesome heroes and heroines that are even more awesome. I don't really know what else to tell you.
Their titles?
Oh, well, that's important, isn't it?
Maybe.
The first one is Warrior's Secret. It's out everywhere. You can get it anywhere you want. Walmart, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, whatever. The second one is Warrior's Trust. I've got a lineup, and they all start with Warrior. So it's Warrior's Trust, Warrior's Worth, Warrior's Honor, and they go down the line. And as I write each one, you'll meet the characters for the next book, and the next book, and so on. And then I co-authored a book, Obsidian Hearts, and that's a trilogy. And there's only one out right now. The first one is out. It's Obsidian Hearts by Linnea Fletcher. That's my other pen name. So got those going.
Excellent. Now we're going to share the screen here, and I'm going to start flashing some of the comments. Thank you to everyone who's shown up in the I'm not flashing, dear, don't get excited. Anyway, but we're going to, that's the kind of friendship the two of us have. That'll show you. But anyway, I love that cup. But anyway, we're going to flash comments on the screen, read a few as we go along. We really want your questions for Michaela tonight, if you would, please. And and also a quick hello to everybody that's listening to us on Spotify, Amazon Radio, and iHeartRadio. So Michaela, you got quite the audience here tonight.
Awesome.
So, I know all these people hanging on your every word. So let's start with this. What made you decide that you wanted to be a writer? What sent you down this course?
Looking back on it, it took me a long time to figure that out. But looking back on it, it was my escape. It was my way of looking at life, because my life sucked, or so I thought. And, because when you're a teenager, life sucks. Mm-hmm. So I wrote my own stories. And I was the oldest of 3 kids. We lived in poverty. I'll just say it. We lived in poverty. So my escape, my getaway was my stories. And they got a little more elaborate and a little more elaborate. And as I grew older, they got a little more steamy, a little more adult rated, maybe before they should have.
Maybe.
Right. So it's always been something that I've done, whether it's a short story for school, or it was a article in a newspaper, or an article in a magazine. And actually, before I got Warrior Secret published, I became a writer for ASO magazine with my real name, not my pen name. And that's all adventure outdoors. So, so that's cool. How it started.
Yes. Now, you don't write your adventure or your outdoorsy stuff under the nope. Michaela name, do you? No. She has another nom de plume for that. So anyway, now one thing I know, sometimes I ask questions because I know the answer to them and they're safe. But I know that you had a book that was with another publisher. How did you find that publisher? And later on, you made the leap to independent publishing. You're doing it yourself. Please give us a story of how you found that first publisher and why you are now publishing yourself now.
Okay, I met Linda Cox at Writers on the River, because I looked up writers in my area. And the first thing that come up was Writers on the River. And I thought, oh, great, I get to go meet writers. I thought it was like a writing convention. Come to find out it was a book signing. I'd never heard of such a thing. So I go and I'm like, oh, wow, this is really cool. I get to meet all these authors. And of course, instead of buying their books, I'm asking them questions. I'm like, how did you get published? Where did you go? Did you get an agent first? What did your agent say? What do you write to your agent? What do you tell them? Because that's what I thought. I thought you had to get an agent. I thought you had to then submit to only the agent. Then the agent would submit to the publisher. That's not how you do it these days. No, you can. There's nothing wrong with it, but most people don't do it that way these days. And I met Linda Cox, and she basically took me under her wing and said, why don't you submit to my publisher? They're looking for things, and that might be right up their alley. And of course, the first time you meet someone and they say to you, submit it to my publisher, you're on cloud 9. You don't remember any of it. And so later on, I asked her, I said, what made you say to this person you just met, you'd never read my book before, never even had a snippet of it. What made you say, submit it to my publisher? Because if that went bad, that looks bad on you. And she said, your enthusiasm. I couldn't argue because I was and still am excited about it. And I love the writing stuff.
Yeah. Well, it's great. Now, I know that you had a contract and all, and what they did publish your first book, was it, or they had not?
They did. They published the first one. They published Warrior Secret. So that's through the Wild Rose Press.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what went wrong other than my editor and I didn't jive. We didn't communicate well. Mm-hmm. So all I can say is during the whole time of the frustrating time of trying to get this editor to communicate what she wanted, what the publisher wanted, because I had no idea. And I told her that. I said, I'm new to this. I've never done it before. What do you want from me? And I never really got an answer. I got, this is wrong. Fix this. Like, well, how do I fix it? I don't know what you want. So that's when I stepped back and I asked my mentor, Linda, I said, what are they looking for? And so she walked me through it. And line by line, paragraph by paragraph, we went through this and we figured out what they're looking for. But it was never the editor. Every time I talked to the editor, it was me reaching out first. It was me saying, hey, when is this due back? Or, hey, you have the manuscript now. When are you going to send it back to me so I can work on the next edits? How does this process all work? And it was really, really vague. And it was really almost like she didn't have time for me. So one time I called her out on it. I said, is that the case? You just don't have time? Are you really busy? And she said, no. You're one of my top people. You're like the top 3. I thought, really? Because you're overwhelmed then because you don't have the time of day for me.
Yeah. How are they treating the others if that's how they're treating you?
If I'm in the top 3. So then while she's hesitating and dragging her feet, I'm learning stuff. I'm talking to people. I'm like, wait a minute. How does this work? How did you do it? What do you mean you can make your own cover? You can edit your own book. You can put it out. I had no idea.
Yeah. So then after what, you broke your contract with the publisher eventually?
They have a clause in the contract that says if you're writing a series, they get first dibs on the next book. Mm-hmm. So I might or might not have given them the rough draft. And they didn't like it.
Oops.
Darn.
Oops. Yeah. Damn, I hate when that happens.
You've got nothing to offer me.
Mm-hmm.
And my mentor even asked me, she said, are you okay? Because they rejected it. And I said, yeah, why? And she's like, well, getting rejected is one thing. Getting rejected from your own publishing house is a whole other thing. Yeah. And I said to her, they don't have anything to offer me. Because in the meantime of waiting for my first book to come out, Warrior Secret, she and I had published Obsidian Hearts.
Right.
Like that. And it was just like, what do you mean it's published? What do you mean we can publish it tomorrow? And she's like, I'll upload it and it'll be published. No big deal. Like, then why does it take a year for a professional editor to get her gears rolling and get things done? Yeah. So yeah, and the profit margins are ridiculous. So now it's like, no, they don't have anything to offer me.
Yeah, I hear that. Now, how did you become educated in the ways of DIY publishing? How did you find the information you needed? This arcane lore that led you down the self-publishing path. Well,
first of all, I'm not afraid to talk to people. So I did. I talked to everybody, and Linda is my go-to, but I talked to other people, and I'm like, okay, now I've heard this. What about your opinion? And so what I'll do is I'll take nuggets from everybody and everywhere, and I make it work for what works for me. Because the best thing I've ever heard, and it's from Amy Hale, what works for you might not work for me, and vice versa. And what works tomorrow may not work yesterday, and what worked yesterday may not work tomorrow. Everything changes all the time. So you got to make it work for what works for you.
Right. That's true.
So yeah, that's networking.
Yeah, and we're part of the same network, same group of troublemakers. So, yeah. And Kelly Rothermel says, love you both.
Thank you, Kelly.
Yes, you've gotten all kinds of great comments here from Jeffrey Hayes, Paul Bush, Sarah, and of course, your friend, Christian Basil.
Christian Basil.
Yes. Yeah, I was just on his show. Everyone, please check out The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS that was recorded just about an hour and a half ago. It is a fantastic show where we talk about does the Doctor believe in ghosts? But anyway, we have our first question of the night and how to get them, says Christian Basil. You're referring to her books. And Rebel Gaming, glad you're here. He said he's flashing.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
I'm game.
Yeah, this is part of that audience interaction thing. Cindy Kep, CKOEPP.com, asks, is there a genre you just can't see yourself ever writing? Is there one that just has zero appeal to you, or you don't think you could do it justice, or are you just kind of like hooked in the fantasy romance thing?
I've always said horror I probably couldn't write. But just recently, I wrote a piece for Phantasmagoria. And that was fun because I took what was paranormal historical romance and I tweaked it. And so there's a little bit of horror there. And I think I could probably write that. So I don't know that there's anything I couldn't write. Now, would I take the time out of my day to do it? Probably not. I'm a huge historical buff. So probably... the shorter answer on that one is contemporary Hallmark stuff.
That makes sense. I don't see you doing the Hallmark thing at all. Trevor Hawkins asks from YouTube, what led you to mash up genres?
Probably that I'd never ever stick to anything. If you know me in my personal life, I have so many hobbies, it's ridiculous. And my poor husband has to deal with all of them. Like, I like cars. I like the outdoors. I do archery. I go fishing. There's so many things that I do. Like, I'll go get my nails done one day, and the next day I'm out landscaping. So it just never, ever works out right. So when I started writing Warrior Secret, it was more like, this is how I would want my boyfriend to act. He would rescue me from the terrible dragons, And then it morphed into, well, he's got to ride a horse, so that's historical. And I love history stuff, and I loved King Arthur stuff. So It's everything.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. And we're getting a lot of good comments here. Rebel Gaming, he seems to approve of flashing here. Christian Basil, we're glad you're here. We're glad you're here, Larry. Thank you for showing up. Christian Basil asks, who... when you started writing, who were your influences as you were starting your journey?
I honestly, my mom had these old romance books. And I come to find out my aunt had these old romance books. They kind of swapped. I didn't know that. But when they were younger, they swapped these books by Cassie Edwards. She wrote Native American romance. And at the time, I was big into Native American stuff. And I thought, I can write this. I wrote this for English class. Except for the naughty parts, but shoot, back in those days, the naughty parts weren't naughty parts.
Now we can talk about our naughty parts.
All the time.
Exactly, and we do. And Amy Hale says hello, watching this while you finish making dinner. Glad you're
what's
here.
for dinner? I'm hungry.
Yeah, really. I haven't. I don't even think I've had a hot pocket this evening. So here we go. We've got a question now from Cindy Kemp. Do you base your characters on people you know, or do you totally make them up, or do you just take like pieces of, like one person, and like if you need somebody who's like kind of manly and studly, you think of me, that sort of thing.
Well, kind of. I take pieces and parts and put them all together. Like my main character in Warrior Secret, Hawk, was the kind of guy I would want. He's the hero. He's the rescuer. But as I would put this book is what I called it. I would put it away and I wouldn't look at it for a while. And then I'd come back to it and I'd write some stuff. And so there has to be influences in there from people I've met, situations that happened. And I find myself looking at it and I'm like, I didn't base that character on my husband, but damn, do they have some realistic parts. And it's like, that's what Andy would say. That's what Andy would do. Mm-hmm. So, and I know that. And now that I'm in it, I take all kinds of stuff from people, and I'm like, oh, that situation would fit in this book that I'm thinking of, or your temperament would fit this character really good. So I'm going to base that character on you.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned Andy, who is your husband. Now, how supportive is your family of this little indulgence of yours?
At first, they didn't know what to think of it. It's a hobby, you know. And when I met Andy, I was 15. And at the time, I already had the book going. So he would say, what do you mean you wrote a book? I'm like, well, I wrote a book. And here's this 5-star notebook, you know, this 5-subject need notebook with all these written things in it. I'm like, this is my book. I wrote a book. I'm going to get it published someday. And so for him, it's always been the book. That's why in the dedication, it says, the book is finally finished. I promise. So he's always known about it. He's never, ever said anything like, you shouldn't. Why are you doing it? You're not talented enough, any of that. But they just don't know, you know. And now that I'm in it, now that I'm really in the writing stuff, they know. And there's days I tell them, listen, I'm not talking to anybody for 8 hours. Don't open that door.
Yeah.
And we've even talked to the fact about getting a she shed. Well, then we decided, well, we don't have room for that now because we put a pool in. So now my oldest kid is about to graduate college and leave the house. I'm like, this is now my office.
There we go.
You got kicked out, kid.
There we go.
But yeah, so now they get it. But at first it was just like, oh, she writes a book. It's fine. She's got a hobby.
There you go. Now, the thing is, what people don't know, you know, your 2 daughters, one is an editor now.
Yeah.
And the other one is an illustrator, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so apparently they get it now. Do they intend to work with mom, or are you just off their list?
No, they're teenagers. One day they're all about it. The next day they're like, I'm not doing that. Okay, well.
They lack your focus, right?
You were. Yeah.
White as little. And what is your family? You know, they've had chances to interact with your friends, part of your network now. And I'm braced for your answer because I know that Andy's met. Well, actually, all but your sons met me. What do they think of your friends?
Oh, they're just my friends. They don't care. You know, they're just like, these are mom's friends. It's fine.
Yeah. As long as they don't come too close to us.
And honestly, the girls are like, is Brian on again? He's on again, isn't he? She's listening to Brian again.
Brian's always on. This is my second show today, so this is the lifestyle to which you can aspire. Cindy Kemp has another question. Do you write short fiction? You're a novelist, but do you do anything, any shorts?
What's short fiction?
Short fiction, like short stories, novellas, novelettes?
Not yet, but nothing says I won't.
There we go.
That venture into doing that little piece for Phantasmagoria, that got the wheels spinning. So,
well, there you go.
Not out of the question.
Good deal. Good deal. Keep your horizons open there. And Teresa Dunn says, Michaela is awesome, wonderful, and a whole lot of fun. And Sarah earlier said that you were wonderful in Carl's green room.
Oh, thanks.
You are amusing. And Sarah says, hi, Teresa. And let's see. And we're just got some more comments. Everyone's showing love to each other.
Awesome.
Yeah, it is. I love it when they interact with each other. It makes me happy. And Carl Witzman says that editor was probably not sure what she was doing.
I had that feeling. I mean, it just felt, because she would ask things like, there's a seer or a wizard in the story, and she would say, well, hasn't he talked to him yet? No, that's the suspense of it. That's coming. That scene is coming. It's not here yet. You got to keep reading. Right. And so I thought to myself, did she not go through this whole thing? Yeah. I don't think she did, honestly. I think she made it to about chapter 10 and was like, here you go. Good enough.
Probably so. That's a shame. She lost quite a talent. Cindy Kemp asks, what is your next project? And what's your work in progress?
My work in progress is book 2, Warriors Trust, getting that edited, because it's waiting on me. I've got everything else done. I've got the ISBN number. I've got the cover, thanks to Carl. He's amazing. Yes. But it's editing. It's me. It's waiting on me. But then after that is, of course, all the other Warrior books in the thing. But the way my brain works and the way I work, there will be offshoots. There will be other things. I had another artist ask me if I would secretly help her work on a book that is not in the fantasy stuff. And I said, absolutely, let's do it. So there's always something that is going to come up, or someone's going to mention something that I'll be like, yeah, sure. Okay, let's do that.
There we go. And this is probably going to make us all take a drink. Christian Basil says, don't make me come in that live stream. All right. And Brian Rodman says, if you could do the Michaela Jade spin on an existing character or story, what would it be and why? Is there a character you would love to write? You know, like somebody you've read in romance or classical literature or a TV, like a novelization?
I kind of already did. If you know anything about the cartoon Gargoyles.
Brian loves Brian loves him some gargoyles.
Yeah, Goliath was kind of my jam.
I get that.
That's kind of where the main character came from. So,
well, you know, it's funny because 50 Shades of Grey originally started as fan fiction for Twilight. Not everyone knows about that.
Yeah, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, apparently the E.L. James or whoever decided that the characters weren't having enough sex with each other. So, fill in the need.
It wasn't that much in 50 Shades of Grey either.
Yeah, well, they had to take. They had to take, of course, the characters out for fear of being sued. But let's see here, and here we go. Christian Basil is adding to the tone of the show. No hashtag naughty parts. And yeah, pretty much. And Sarah says Michaela's rescuer would rescue her from her vibrating phones.
I don't know if I want to be rescued from that. That highlights my day.
Yes, for our radio listeners, primarily, Christian Basil has a wonderful voice. It's like if I had gone through puberty, that's the voice I would want to have. And Michaela tantalizes us on our morning show, Never Mind the Furthermore, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, folks. Never pass up a chance to promote. But anyway, we go into her pocket. Yep. And that is responsible for a clip of the Meredith Logren that we don't have loaded up for this show. You're welcome. And and Carl mocks Sarah with his laughter, and Sarah mocks him right back. Now here we go. Now I'm pretty sure this is an obvious question or answer rather, but Cindy Cap wants to know from YouTube: do you enjoy reading in the genre you write? Do you read a lot of other romantic fantasy, contemporary fantasy?
Oddly enough, I didn't. Because remember I said Cassie Edwards was what I read? So I knew they wrote historical romance. I didn't know anybody wrote what I wrote. And so one day I was in a Dollar General and I saw this book with a dragon on it. And my son liked to read about dragons. I didn't read the blurb. I didn't know what this book was about. Mm-hmm. But it had a dragon on it and it said Christine Feehan. Okay. So I got it for my kid. It was like $3, got it for my kid. I was like, here, Isaac, let me know if you like this book. Apparently he read the back of it and he's like, Mom, I'm not interested. I don't think I'll read that. And it sat on the shelf for a while. I picked it up and I thought, let me read it. Let me see what it's about. Oh my God, that's a great book. So I learned who Christine Feehan was and I was like, wait. People write what I write? Holy crap, there could be something to this. So yeah, so that was, I do read it now and I love it. Christine Feehan, Hannah Howell does some of it. Who else? Let's see. Carrie Monning or something like that. She does historical history, like vampire guys in the Scottish Highlands. Who knew?
Nice. Cool.
Yeah.
That sounds like my kind of jam there.
I do. I read a lot of it. And like I said, I don't read a lot of the contemporary, like Hallmark stuff, just because it's not my jam. Right. But yeah, now that I found paranormal romance, oh yeah, I love it. Love it.
Yeah, well, you mentioned the historical stuff. I read way back when, God, I'm blanking out on her name, but the character was Saint Germain, and it was a vampire. God, I wish I could remember who it was. Somebody in our audience will probably be able to tell me. But it was in different periods of this vampire's life and had a heavy romantic theme. Maybe I was a romance reader before I knew it. And
Maybe.
it could be. Maybe that's why I'm trying to write some of it now. Andy Shaggy Courtney, what? I heard my name. Yes, Studley. When I said the word needing a stud, you know what I'm saying? That's probably what summoned you. And you mentioned your she shed not going to the backyard. Christian Basil says the she shed is in the pool.
Well, it's hard to write there. Everybody's splashing and stuff. No, it's hard to write there.
It gets soggy. The paper gets soggy. Yeah. And Sarah asks from YouTube, should family and friends be scared of characters being based on them?
Scared? No, not really, because I never use names.
Yeah.
I never use names. Mm-hmm. So, it's safe, per se.
Yeah. Now, do you tell them that, hey, this was based on you, or do you pray they never find out?
Like some people that it's a thrill for them. Like my sister-in-law, she'd love it. Mm-hmm. So I would tell her. But like based on the male characters on the males that I know, they won't care. Like I know a guy that like he's a car guru, right? And there's nothing on a car he can't fix. Mm-hmm. I have a character in mind that is like that. Now, will he care that I used it in a book? No, he won't. His wife will get a kick out of it, but he won't care.
Well, there you go. You go. Christian Basil also says her daughters are now indentured servants.
They are. Just don't tell them.
You don't want them rebelling. And it is right and just as Andy Shaggy Cordy. Yes, indeed. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Christian Basil says, Andy, my dad said he had me because they hadn't invented the remote control yet. I think I can identify with that. And Ted Davies, TedDaviesArtistry.com, also on YouTube, says, Michaela is always a treat. Yes, she is.
Thank you, Ted.
Authentically her own woman. There you go. I try. Yeah, very good. And Andy Shaggy Courtney says, pretty sure indentured servitude or Irish slavery is how the Irish part of my family got here. Could be. There's probably a story in that. Cindy Cap asks now, do your ideas appear without a return address in your brain, or do ideas based from other, do you base, like events in your book on other events?
Yep.
Both?
Yeah, both. I'll be driving along at work and bam, there's an idea. And if I don't write that sucker down, I'm never going to find it again. Never. Nope.
That's why I always carry a phone with a recorder on it.
Yes.
And Brian Rodman, shy boy that he is, brianrodman.com. I love gargoyles.
I do too. In fact, for Christmas, I got the only seasons that they made were seasons 1 and seasons 2. From Disney. So my family got that for me for Christmas, and they make fun of me when I sit and watch it.
What's wrong with them? Good Lord.
I don't know.
Good God. Yeah. Of course was, Masters of the Universe spoken in this house, so we understand. Brian Rodman further would like to know, what would you say is the most important part of connecting with your readers / fan base?
I love it when they love what I write. And I don't know. I haven't had a lot of opportunities just yet because, 2020 sucked. And
it's continuing to.
Yeah, to get out there and actually meet a lot of the readers that don't already know me in my personal life. But it's a kick for me that, like long story short, when I married into Andy's family, I don't have a lot of close-knit family. I married into his family. They wrapped me in their arms and haven't let go. Now, I didn't think about that when I used a pen name. I should have just stayed with my real name, because all I have to do is say, hey, guys, I write books. And bam, there's 15, 20 people going, I'll read your book. Can I have your book? I'll buy your book. Where can I get your book? Like, oh, are you kidding me? Whereas my biological family would be like, oh, that's great. You wrote a book. It's good. I want that reader that is clamoring for the next book and is into the world that I wrote as much as I am.
Mm-hmm. That's very cool. Yeah, my family's like that. My bio family's like that too. They'd be like, does it come with the crayons you need?
Yeah.
So yeah, not high on literacy. I'm obviously my mother's child. Sarah would like to know what would you think of writing Victorian Gothic stories?
Ever since I found Phantasmagoria, I've been thinking on it. I like it. I never thought I would like horror, but they do in a way that I like it. I like the suspense. I like the challenge of writing it so that you're like, oh, what happens next? Yeah. So I love it. So yeah, probably.
Yeah. Have you ever watched Dark Shadows, the original soap opera with Jonathan Frid? Well, no, I mean in the reruns, in the laser discs or whatever. You're not of the vintage that I am, thank God, who watched it when it was on the air. No, that's a great series. It was originally kind of a Gothic romance soap opera. And then after about a year, when the ratings were starting to plummet, they started introducing vampires and werewolves and witches and time travel and stuff. You might want to check that out. They're pretty good. Carl Witzman asks now, your editor, do you sometimes wish that you'd lived in those historical times?
All the freaking time. Yes. Yep.
What's the attraction? The
simpleness. It was black and white. It wasn't all this gray. It wasn't political. Well, sometimes it was, I guess. Can I have more? I love the simple stuff of the historical. I do. I don't know, get to ride a horse every day. Come on now. Who doesn't want that?
There you go. See, back then you'd have no choice. So, yeah. Now, Cindy Kemp wants
to write other things.
Yeah.
Well, there's that.
Well, that's true. Cindy Kemp asks, finding titles for books and stories is one of the toughest things for some folks. How about for you? Do you agonize over that like some of us do?
Yes, that'll make my eye twitch before anything else. In fact, I was sitting here trying to figure out the last Warriors book in my Warrior line. And sometimes it'll come to me as like a character flaw or trait. Like one of them came to me was Warrior's Worth. That'll be next after Warrior's Trust. But I've got one that I just cannot come up with a title for. And I learned that the hard way because when I sent my book to the publisher, it had some stupid title to it. And the publisher was like, yeah, that's good. That's fine. Whatever. And at the very last minute, I was like, can we change the title? And they were like, well, sure. What do you want it to be? Crap. I have no idea. Can you help me with this? And they were like, oh, no, that's your job. Okay, we'll figure something out. So it took a week of brainstorming with my friends and critique partners. And so we came up with it. So, and we thought it out. We were like, okay, if we go with Warrior Secret and there's more books coming, thank you. Can we run with that? Can we make it Warriors something else? Warrior, does it work? So that's how it came to be. Yeah. Titles suck. And blurbs are worse.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Now, do you have a title without a plot? I actually have a book that I will be writing in the next couple of years, and I had the title long before I had any sort of story to go with it.
No, I don't think I've ever found a title yet. And it may happen. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. That's cool, though. And do you see yourself maybe, like you mentioned, the Warrior's Secret, being a good ongoing theme for your titles? Do you have like a finite number of the Warrior's Secret characters that you think you'll write, or do you think it's going to go on forever?
It might go on for a while because somebody mentioned to me they'd like to know more about one of the heroines of the story, and I thought, I could tell you her backstory. I know it. Why wouldn't I tell you? So then there might be a whole nother set of them that it's just the females instead of the males. Mm-hmm. So who knows?
Very cool. Very cool. Cindy Kemp would like to know, and this is something we all wrestle with. What is the weirdest marketing strategy that you've tried? And that's a rather guilty looking smile, young lady.
Because some of my stuff is secret. But one of the weirdest I've tried, and to me, it's because other people think it's weird. When I worked for a title company, we wrote title loans.
Mm-hmm.
One of their tricks was going door to door and hanging door hangers. And on those door hangers was a coupon. Okay. So I thought to myself, why can't I do that? Nothing stops you. The only hiccup you'll find is there are some towns and some neighborhoods that you can't do that. You can't go hang door flyers. So as long as you check with the town, some of them are even that way. You check with them, they say it's fine. You get a permit, you go. It doesn't cost you a thing. But you have to let them know you're doing it. So that's probably the one that I haven't seen any other authors doing it, but I had kind of thought about getting together with some others and saying, hey, I'm going to hang my door hanger. Do you want to make up a little card? We'll make up a little bag and I'll hang it on doors. See what happens. So that's probably my weirdest one. I got you thinking, didn't it?
Yeah. Can you tell? I was about to say, when you get this going, contact me. We may want to get on board with this. And remember, you can contact Michaela at actually go to authormckaylajade.com. That's how you get in touch with this lady. Plus, she's on
Facebook, and I have Instagram too.
That's true. You do.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. Now, Andy, Shaggy, Cordy, and Andy, we're glad you're here. What is the hardest drink hard for you to write in your book?
The boring shit.
Good night, folks. We answered all your questions. All right, yeah.
Because I can write a battle scene. I can write a love scene. I can write a scene at dinner where something happens, but the transitional parts where it's like, okay, we're going to this place or we're going to that place. You'll never find in my book a boring part because I can't do boring. So if they're riding, let's say they're riding from one castle to another, something is going to happen. Spoiler alert. I can't just we went from point A to point B and it was a lovely time. It was just lovely. I can't do it because I get bored and I'm like, oh, that's boring shit. Let's fix it. So, yeah, I can't do it.
Well, no, that's great advice, though. It's mirrors something that I read a couple of years ago from some writer. Somebody was asking them, well, how do I get from this exciting scene to this other exciting scene and it's boring in the middle? And I said, well, then don't write boring stuff. Just spice it up, make it interesting. So Christian Basil now asks, what are you most proud of in your brief writing career? What makes you the happiest?
Honest to God, it's following through. Because for years and years, I said, I have the book. I wrote a book. Mm-hmm. And until I took that first step and followed through, I don't consider myself an author until I actually did that. So it was because everybody's got them. Everybody's got a dream that they're like, it's over there. I don't have time for it right now. I'm not good enough, or something's in their way. Some roadblock is in their way. Mine was the word yes. I know what to do with the word no. I've been told no all my life. What do you do with the word yes? What do you do when you send it to a publisher and they're like, oh yeah, this is good, we'll publish it? What do you do? I didn't know. So yeah, that's my proudest moment of sending it. And honestly, the first place I sent it was a contest and I didn't win, but I sent it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was probably my proudest moment.
It should be, it's, a lot of the would-be writers never get out of the starting gate, and you went on, and you are actually, now you're in control of your, not just your work, your stories, but your entire business.
Oh, yeah.
And that's
there's a lot.
I know. I'm trying to build you up, dear. I'm trying to build you up. Okay. It's what I do with the people on here. Carl Witzman says we need to get Warriors Trust out there so you can start the next one.
Yeah, I know.
That's the sound.
My whole thing with edits is now that I've learned what edits really are supposed to be, is that I know I can write better. So I'll get all the way to the end of the chapter and I'm like, screw it, that first line doesn't work for me, or that scene, there's something wrong with it, but I can't figure it out. So I'll give it to my critique partner and I'll say, read this for me, and she'll come back with, hey, that doesn't work that way, try it this way, or I'll read I'll set it to the side and I'll read it again, and it's just like, it's kind of boring. Let's fix it. So I'm always going to do that. So there has to be a point where I go, okay, enough is enough. I'm going to over edit this. Enough. Shut up, Andy. Andy's making sounds from the other room.
Oh no! Stop that, Andy. And she's not meaning Andy Cordy. It's not you, sir. Yeah. So here we go. Cindy Kep wants to know, what is your favorite historical setting?
I don't know if I have one, because I like castles and I like the knights and I like that whole time. But I also like Native Americans and the West and cowboys. So I don't know if there's a favorite, but it's one of those two.
You're
sorry, Andy went to bed. Yeah,
that's okay. Sarah would like to know from YouTube, how do you keep every character in their own voice instead of meshing them? What do you have any tricks for giving everyone distinctive speech patterns that's easily recognizable for that character?
Again, it's in my head, they talk different. Because I base them on like a character from a person that I know. Like if that character has a stutter to his voice, I'm going to pull that into the book, and I know how that should sound because I heard that person talking that way. If that person's got a baritone, I love baritones. I know how that's going to sound. I know what that makes me feel like. If someone's got a very high-pitched, whiny voice, I know what that's going to sound like and what it sounds like to me. So that's how I keep them different. Each one of my warriors has a different voice, a different way they talk, because I write like I talk fast and all the time.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So I see it and I hear it in my head. So each one, to me is different.
There we go. Christian Basil, following up on your door hanger idea, which I'm still wrapping my brain around and starting to smile. He would hire Girl Scouts as they're selling cookies door to door.
Yeah, but they don't do that anymore.
That's true.
They just stand at Walmart and do it. Get you come in the door.
Actually, the best place I'm finding that a lot of Girl Scouts do is outside the marijuana dispensaries.
They are smart girls. They are smart girls.
They are. Now, Cindy Kep would like to know, what is your favorite writing resource?
YouTube. Because when I'm out working and I've got to stick my phone in my pocket, I can listen to another writer tell me, whether it's Stephen King or Jenna Morisi, or it doesn't matter, or if it's Brian K. Morris. If I can listen to it, I can pick that up, and then I can listen to it again. If I didn't catch something, I can listen to it again. So YouTube, it's the simplest. Like I can learn stuff. Like if I hear Brian K. Morris or Jenna Morisi say something, and I'm like, I don't understand, then I can go research that. But for the most part, it starts with YouTube.
Yeah, it is a great resource, and I'm flattered to be mentioned in the same breath as Jenna Morisi, because she really, that was one of the first YouTubers I started listening to regularly as I started publishing. You see her early videos, and I do recommend her to everyone out there that's interested in writing. It's Jenna, Jenna Morisi, Moreci. She's got a great backstory, plus she is doing everything right, and it is working for her.
Yeah, it works for her.
And she's able to teach it, and she's gorgeous and swears like a sailor, which, obviously I'm attracted to that kind, obviously, and everyone's met Cookie. But anyway, let's see. Sarah asked, am I guessing correctly when I ask if humor is in your books here and there?
That's the hardest part for me to write. I can laugh and joke with someone on the take back, but I have a harder time writing it, because humor to me is in your actions. It's in your body language. So it's not just speech. So sometimes I have a hard time conveying it in writing. Yeah. It's there. It's harder for me. So I don't know that I'll ever write one of those books that everybody's like, oh my God, this was so funny. Study it? Okay, I'll study it.
There we go. There we go. Here we go. Now, of course, you don't suffer from this, I'm sure. Brian Rodman, BrianRodman.com, would like to know, when you have the dreaded writer's block, where do you go for inspiration?
Don't kill me here, but I don't believe in it. I heard it from Stephen King. I think it was Stephen King. And he said it's total bullshit. Mm-hmm. Now, don't kill me. In my world, in my head, it's total crap, because there's always something you can write. I don't care if it's a grocery list. You're writing. And for me, every story that I write, no matter what, it doesn't matter if it's a short story or one in my series, they start on paper. So there's never a block, really. There's always something I'm writing. And maybe that's why I write in that other, with my real name in that magazine. It gives me something different, something completely out of my genre, to go, okay, I've got to get this done, and it's got to be on deadline, and it's got to be about something like this that fits the magazine. Yeah. So maybe that's it. Maybe it's because I give myself all those outlets and different things, and I'm always writing. Like I said, if it's a grocery list or a to-do list, I'm writing. So really, for me, I think it's crap, but everybody's different.
No, I kind of agree with you, actually. I don't know that I'd call it crap, because, even hypochondriacs can feel real pain.
Right, right.
But it's just that there is some sort of mental log jam that we have to power through somehow. Cindy Kep says, a writer told me that when stuff gets boring, quote, drop a dead body from the ceiling.
Well, if that works, that could work, actually. Let me see.
That could, yeah.
Book 3, that's coming.
Yeah, we'll see you guys. It's been nice. Anyway, but yeah, Michaela and I gotta get busy. No, yeah, seriously, don't write boring stuff. That's the cure for a lot of this.
If you wouldn't want to read it, why would you write it?
Yeah, exactly. Carl Witzman says, okay, I didn't know she could make that sound. Well, now you do. All right, this is the learning place here, and here we go. Sarah's starting up again. What do I do with a yes under the sheets?
Under the sheets, I got it. It ain't no big deal. I don't think I've ever heard no there.
Anyway, Brian Rodman says, what is your writing process like? Do you take notes and connect them with red twine like a crazy person? Him.
Not yet.
Or do you just roll with it as you go? Are you a pantser or an outliner?
I'm a total pantser. I fly by the seat of my pants. And I hate to say it because it makes me sound crazy, but the characters talk to me. The characters tell the story. I just write the incident report. So
I've never heard it described as that. Oh my God, I'm taking it.
It does. It just comes out that way. It's just like, I see it like a movie in my head. Like when I read a book, it's a movie in my head. That's the same way my stories are. If there's something not coming together, like I can't figure out where he goes next, I'll go fishing. I'll go shoot my bow. I'll go mow the yard. It doesn't matter. Go do something that isn't sitting here staring at the computer, and it'll come to me.
Yeah, there we go. And Carl Witzman apologizes for nagging again. This is where you watch the interaction. Yeah, this is where you watch the interaction between writer and editor here. And Christian Basil's trying to be helpful. Warrior's secret, Warrior's trust, Warrior's dinner, Warrior's use jockstrap, Warrior's hemorrhoids, Vincent and the Warrior.
I don't know if I'd use those.
Are you writing this down? This is
yeah.
It's Christian, this has got to be gold here. So, well, moving on. Cindy Kep would like to know, what's your favorite techie tool? Do you have a program that you use in the course of your writing, or do you have like a physical tool that you use?
I am tech challenged, so don't laugh when I say this, but I just figured out what Photoshop is. Okay. So by doing graphics and stuff, like I had to ask my teenager, I'm like, how does this thing work? And she was like, Mom, can I get this one graphics program? And I'm like, oh God, what does that cost? And she goes, Mom, can I just see your laptop? So I hand her my laptop and she goes, it's on your laptop. I'm like, oh, it is? I wonder if it's like one of them things you got to put in like a big old code, like you used to have to do with Microsoft Word. So she hops into it, she starts playing with it, and she goes, no, Mom, you have the program. Well, can you make graphics? And she's like, I can make you a book cover. Watch this. I had no idea. Had the computer for years, had no idea. So no, I mean, like, I didn't know what Google Docs was until last year. I think it was last year. Yeah.
Well, there's always somebody that doesn't know it either.
Right. So
you're miles ahead of them. You're miles ahead.
Yeah, just most of my friends already know. They're like, you didn't know? Not a clue.
No, I can't do it either. I can barely do paint.
Remember that history stuff? Yeah, I'm still with a quill and paper.
And her next book cover, Michaela will do it herself. It'll be cave drawings. Yeah. Till Shively, love you, hun. Wow, glad you're here. Hey, both you lovely peoples, my Orko and Crazy Lady, love you both.
Hello.
Yes, and Paul Bush was here earlier saying hello. So we've got I think we've got everyone. We just need Andy, and we've got all of Michaela Con.
Yay!
Yay! See, this is where people come together. Yeah. Andy Shaggy Cordy says, I have to get back to drawing Saint Hedwig of Poland. Speaking of historical romance, weird coincidence, I promise. Later, Gators. Andy, so glad you're here, brother. You've been missed. Hope you're doing well. And Cookie will get that thing to you soon. She's doing some work for Andy. And tunes or no tunes when you write.
So remember I said I had all those hobbies? One of them is singing. So I have figured out, because someone said something about they listen to music while they write. And I'm like, how the hell do you do that? Because I would be singing along and forget what I was writing or write what I was singing. So then I found instrumentals. Ta-da! Got it. But it can't be a song that I know, because even an instrumental, if I know the words, I'm going to sing along. So yes, I do. I do a lot of Celtic music when I'm writing my historical paranormal stuff. And then I was writing some Westerns. And so I was listening to a lot of old, like mountain music, old hillbilly stuff. So just, yeah. I love music.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Thank you, Andy Cordy. Appreciate that, man. And T.L. Shively says, I would never guess that humor would be hard for you to write.
Yeah.
I think it's a compliment. Well, that's the thing. Humor is hard to write. It really is. Because
a lot of humor is, like I said, it's bounce off of something. It's a situation you comment on, or, somebody said something, you say something back, and that's funny. And the timing of it is funny. I can't write that. I won't say can't. I have trouble writing that part.
There we go. Never say can't.
Never say can't.
Right. Yeah. And it is tough. So, I totally get that. Ted Davies Artistry from YouTube would like to tell you, Michaela, thank you for being an example and subscribing to my YouTube channel. Signed, Green Room Ted.
You're welcome, Ted.
Yes, everybody should sign up for the Ted Davies Artistry page on YouTube. And there's all kinds of great programming there. And yay, Michaela agrees with me about writers' so-called blocks, says Carl Witzman. I'm with you too on that. I really am. And Green Room Ted. And here we go. Christian's still being helpful. Future book, writer's grocery list.
Yeah. Egg, bread, and a sword. Really?
Yeah, really. He's got 1 million of them. And future book, Warriors HR. Christian Basil, please report to HR immediately. And T.L. Shively, who's also a very talented writer, says, I get that with the characters writing the story. I am the same way. Have you ever had the characters arguing in your head?
Not yet. I say yet because who knows? But no, I haven't had anything happen like an argument yet where I can't figure out what to do.
Well, if any two characters were going to get into a dust them up, who would they be?
It would be Hawk and his second in command, Gareth. And in fact, spoiler alert, Warriors Trust, they do get into a pretty big spat. And I was pretty proud of myself for writing that one because it's it's a fight, a physical fight, but you're also in it. Your emotions are in it as well. So I was pretty proud of myself on that one.
Should be. Very cool, very cool. Cindy Kept from YouTube would like to know, in one of the genres she writes, there is a lot of trouble with bogus reviews. One guy got a review bomb because his book was not a package of Jimmy Dean sausages. I can see that. Have you gotten weird reviews?
Not yet, but I have heard of that happening. Like one of the romance writers that I know, she got a review because the trampoline that this person ordered was not a trampoline. Like, you got to know that your readers out there are going to read that review and go, well, that obviously was a glitch somewhere. You got to know that they've got half a brain in their head. But hey, it's a review, so it stacks them up, right? I mean,
it helps with the algorithms.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what did you think about your first review that you ever got?
the one that wasn't someone I knew.
Yeah, pretty much.
Knocked my socks off. I got one from In Detail magazine, and they gave it 3.5 stars on Goodreads, and on Amazon it's 3 stars. And I thought, 3 stars, really? When everybody else said 5, and of course, I take that with a grain of salt too, because it's like, I know they love the book, but they love me too. So,
and who can blame them?
Right, because I'm just so darn lovable.
Exactly.
But In Detail gave me 3, and I tried really hard not to be like, they gave me 3 stars. That's it. Screw them. They suck. But then a friend of mine said, that's really not that bad from In Detail, because they really, really scrutinize things. So then I went back and I read it, and I'll be damned, I found something in their review on Goodreads. It mentioned that one of my characters was a throwaway character. And of course, that first thought in your head is, no, it's not. It's my character. And, what do you know? And then you think about it a minute and you think, I'll be damned. They're right. I could have thrown that character out and the story would have been just fine without him. Why couldn't my editor at the publisher have told me that? Again, leads me to believe I don't think she read the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Now, what have you learned other things about your writing from reading your reviews? Have you picked up any other tips?
Not yet, because I don't have very many. I think I've got 5 on Amazon and 5 on Barnes & Noble, and I think I've got 3 on Goodreads.
That's not bad.
No, it's not bad, but yeah, I haven't.
Want more.
Yeah, but not yet. So I'm still. That's why I read them. I don't read them to go, oh yay, I'm great. I'm looking. Did somebody catch something I didn't catch? Did something not set right with somebody? Did it not make sense?
All right. That's why it's important to everyone out there. Please leave reviews for your favorite authors, particularly indie authors. Independent authors need that to it increases their visibility. In fact, there's a book on Amazon and Smashwords that I can plug, but it's not I'm not the focus here. So, Thank you. Okay, Amazon reviews made less impossible by Brian K. Morris on Amazon and Smashwords. Please pick up your copy today. Christian Basil has written plays where he would listen to people out in the world and would write down what he heard and add it to the play. Was there something you've overheard and put it in your books?
Not yet, but I've got 1,000 sticky notes everywhere that have things written on them. It's hard because you can't plagiarize, but something, you'll see an inspirational quote or a great idea, and it's like, okay, how can I implement that? How can I put that in there without plagiarizing? So I've got that in Warrior Secret. There's a spot in there where I tweaked something.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Cindy Kep is now asking, have you ever done historical recreation? Many writers a number of writers cosplay, a number of them do historical recreations of various things. Have you ever gone that route?
Yeah, with the Linnea Fletcher books. They are based on Arthur's Avalon and the legends that go with that. And then I've got a book in the works that is a historical based on the Battle of Shiloh for the Civil War. Mm-hmm. And that came from out of nowhere. That came from completely the left field. but it's in my head and I can't get it out. So I wrote most of it, and now it's sitting on a shelf. It'll get written. It'll get finished. But yeah, so I took the Battle of Shiloh, and I took a girl's perspective of it. And so it will be based on real events.
Very, very cool. Christian Basil says, I hate when I start to write something down on my quill and parchment paper, then autocorrect kicks in.
Don't you just hate that?
I know, that sucks.
worse.
It's terrible. Hey, Eric Hawkins, how you doing? And Cindy Kemp wants to know, is imposter syndrome a thing in your world?
Not really, not yet. My husband keeps me grounded. So, like, sometimes I'll say things and he'll say, you sound really arrogant. What? That's not how I meant to say that. That's not how I meant that to come out. But yeah, he keeps me grounded. So I've never, like, it. I know I'm a good writer, and I know that I constantly hone my craft. So I don't have that yet of, ooh, wow, they think I'm more than I am. Not yet.
Right. Well, good. I hope you never get it. Speaking of personal experience, it's pretty crippling. Anyway, I don't believe in writer's. I don't believe in writer's block, but I do believe in imposter syndrome. Andy Shaggy Cordy is back for a second. Have you written any dino porn? Pterodactyl Triss, Velociraptor in her cave, Juicy Jurassic.
I don't know. It's awful inspiring. Maybe I will one day.
I know. I'm surprised you're still here. I'm surprised you haven't rushed to the keyboard already to get this going. And
I have my notepad. I don't need a keyboard.
Well, there you go. Just ignore me. I'll just keep talking, and you get that novel started. And future book from Christian Basil, Warriors Catfisting. Thank you, Christian.
Oh.
You knew it was going to happen. Anyway, Carl Westman says, I got a review that it was sad that my book wasn't in Danish.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
It's a review, so okay.
Yeah. What was it? I don't know. Has Amy Hale ever told you her bad review story?
I think so, but of course my memory sucks.
Yeah, I hear you, but this is one of the few things I can remember. She got one of her, I think it was probably her first or one of her first reviews from one of her books was somebody took her to task for the language in the book because she had used the word crap.
Yes. Yeah.
And that was like, if that's the book I read, that was the nicest, that was the kindest word in there. She did a lot. She did stuff a little more powerful than just crap on there. She tells me that she's gonna make a T-shirt with that review on it. Yeah, seriously, I say celebrate that thing, But I know what you mean about 3-star reviews. What my first review on Goodreads was for Santa Sign. They gave it 3 stars, and I was crushed. And I'm like, oh God, well, I'll just gird my loins and read the thing. And it turned out they were raving about it. They thought this was the best, funniest book ever. And I'm like, what do I have to do to get 4 stars? Cure cancer? What?
Takes all kinds.
It does. And even if you leave me crazy reviews, just leave me reviews. That's all I want. And here we go. Now, this is an excellent question here from Cindy Kemp. What's your favorite way to get more reviews?
Is my shirt down far enough?
I'm gonna go write a review for her right now.
Yeah,
what will you do for a 5-star review?
I don't know. There may come a day where I get pretty desperate, but
call me.
You're not the only one. I got a list of phone numbers, but damn. But yeah, that's one that I never thought. I always thought that, like, if someone read your book and you told them, hey, it's really important to leave a review. Would you please leave me a review? That they would do it. Because I would do it. Right. Trust me, if I bought a book from an author, doesn't matter what author, and they said to me, will you do me a favor? When you're done reading that, leave me a review. Let me know what you thought. I don't care if it's bad, good, ugly, otherwise. I don't care. Just leave me a review. Do you know how honored I would be to do that? Yeah. Holy crap. Because before I started this journey, I didn't know how important reviews were. So an author asked me to do them a favor and leave a review. holy crap, but it is like pulling teeth to get people to leave a review. The only way that I see people giving a lot of reviews is that Kindle Unlimited, because at the very end of the book, it asks you, will you rate this book? Holy crap. But yeah, I honest to God don't know.
Yeah.
I can market like nobody's business. I can get people to buy the book. I do not know why they will not review the book. I even have a YouTube video all about reviewing books. I don't know.
I hear you. Joe Dog Michaela, Stupid O'Clock, which will be on Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, and also Saturday night at 11. Says sorry he's late because he missed the YouTube notification. That's okay. Well, YouTube wasn't as bad as what was on the Rising Tide page, so that was, I don't know what was going on there. And Cindy Kep said, and if you need a template for book reviews, you need to get Amazon reviews made less impossible. Available on Smashwords and Amazon for only $2.99. Anyway, and I was going to do a physical version of that book, but everything's been put off. I'm like, well, I'll do it for next year because there's no way around.
Well, yeah, because honestly, I think if we can put something with our book that, like swag, we spend money on swag when we do these book signings. If we could just put something with our book that says, hey, here's how to give a review, here's why to give a review, and it's quick, it's short, people are like, oh, what's this little? Maybe that'll help. Because I would buy them just to put in my book and say, okay, you bought my book, here's this one, please read it, please give me a review. Maybe that would work.
I'll get started on that book then. Anyway, here we go. Sarah asks, how does someone leave a review for an author on a site such as Amazon when it's bought in person and not through the site?
The Zon is a bitch. Sometimes they will not let you do it because I've tried to do it for author friends through my other account, and it won't let me do it because it says, well, you haven't bought this book. But I did buy the book. I bought it at a book signing. So then you have to go through their community. I think it's called community reviews or whatever. Okay. And so Amazon will let you, but then they'll look and they'll see, are you connected to this author somehow? And if even you're following that author, they won't let you do it because it could be a bought review. Yeah. So then I tell people, I said, just go to Barnes & Noble, go to Goodreads, wherever you want to, but Amazon sometimes won't let you.
Yeah. Now, what I've seen some people doing, if I can interject here, is I've seen some people like take a picture of the book and say, I bought it directly from the author. Now, I don't know if they've also bought stuff from Amazon, but yeah, I had a strong start to my Bachelor's Grove book when it came out. You know, sales were really brisk, and I'm looking at the let's just say the proportions were really off between the number of books I was selling online and the number of reviews I was getting online. And I got feedback from a lot of my beta readers saying that the Zon would not allow their reviews to be posted because they could not verify that the book had been purchased. You know, so.
Well, and even if they verify it's been purchased, if they think that you guys are friends, they won't post it.
Yeah. And that sucks because we all try to work for each other.
Well, and even if your fans want to follow you, right? What do you mean? I follow that author like you suggested I do, but yet you won't let me leave a review? How does that make any sense?
That's crazy. That's nuts. Cindy also would like to know. Cindy Kep would like to know: do you include Easter eggs in your writing?
Sometimes. Sometimes.
What kind of Easter eggs do you leave?
It's usually that one little tidbit of something that makes you go, wait. We didn't get a question answered. It's answered in the next book.
There we go. So you have to buy all of her works.
Yeah.
So that's pretty simple. That's simple enough. Okay, everybody get busy. Christian Basil, have you ever cosplayed any of your characters?
I try. I don't know how well it came out, but I try to play the part of Cassidy or Megan. Megan is Cassidy's handmaid to start with. then she becomes more as the books progress. So Jenna is a new character coming up that she's intriguing. Her story is coming together, but you meet Jenna in book number 2. So yeah, that'll be interesting. I'll have to see if I can play Jenna.
Oh, that's cool. Now, that dress that you wore to Peoria Con, was that the cosplay thing? Oh man,
yeah.
You this year, or this coming year in 2021, in September 2021, Michaela and I will be sharing a table at PennCon in St. Louis, Missouri. I don't have the dates with me, but we will be sharing a table together. We were going to do it this year, but well, that's the theme of this 2020 is we're going to do it this year, but that didn't happen. But it will happen next year. So, and Christian Basil says, Sarah Syndicap, I am imposter syndrome. We're going to revisit that theme. That was one of the first Clever Title pendings after we hit the interview thing, and we're going to redo that show, I think, and get a progress report to see if anyone's any better. No. So, and I hear Sarah has the question of the evening. This is important now. Brace yourself. Are you decorating for Halloween?
Yes. And I wish I could show you. We have an entire graveyard in the front yard. Ooh. My father-in-law made tombstones out of wood, and every year they're placed. I think there's a dozen of them. And there's a pumpkin and a witch, and there's all kinds of stuff. Yes, it's very elaborate.
That's cool. I love Halloween decorations. I really do. And Sarah, of course, has the next title, Warriors Under the Sheets.
I could do erotica. I could do that.
Imagine my shock and surprise. Anyway, Carl Weston says, I wanted a photo of author McKayla Jade on her current book, but she said no.
My butt's too big. I ain't doing that.
Let us be the judge. Anyway, and it's funny because, you were talking earlier about YouTube videos. One that I like, even though they deal with mostly nonfiction, is from a company called Book Launchers. And Julie Broad, the Book Broad, does some wonderful, wonderful videos on there. And today's was about whether you should appear on your own cover or not.
I'll have to look at that one.
Yeah, it's like always, it's real good. And that's something I should ask you. That you mentioned Jenna Marie C, and you're a regular on Nevermind the Furthermore and Clever Title Pending as an audience participant, and we're grateful. What other YouTube videos would you recommend to people to either stay fired up or to just increase their store of knowledge about this business?
Anything that works for you. Like if you're having a down day and a motivational video will work for you, type that into YouTube. They've got them. They've got the people that scream at you, get up, get moving, do it now. And then they've got the people that are like, you know what, you can do this. You did that. You can do this. Let's get on it. Let's do it. Or if you're struggling with, I don't know about all these ISBN numbers. What does it mean? Do I need one? Do I not need one? Do I let Amazon do it? There is a YouTube video for it. So look them up, find it. If you watch the video and you still got a question, there's another video that will explain it. I swear there is.
That's true. And Christian Basil says, Carl Witzman, who doesn't want a photo of Michaela Jade?
You guys are so sweet, but no.
It's true. Well, you're what kind of picture are you assuming we want, Michaela?
Boys.
Okay, she's got us pegged, Christian. Sorry. Anyway,
coming a mile away.
I know it.
Spring.
Yeah.
Now we got a spring.
Yeah, I know. You shouldn't have said that. Maybe if we weren't so noisy. Ted Davies Artistry says my book got 3.5 stars and is being scripted in Hollywood. So what if? That's right. I've only got like about I think 13 reviews for Sandestein. It's been out since 2013, but I've sold copies all over the world. So I managed to. It does manage to help me dry my tears. Christian Basil says Michaela's book 5-star reviews. Michaela's low cut dress 10-star review.
It's really just a tube top when I take it off. So low cut, whatever, no cut, whatever.
Oh, excuse me. I was in my happy place for a moment.
Yeah.
Carl Winsman, she puts up with this crap for me all the time.
Okay.
Oh, cool. I'm encouraged. Anyway, Carl Winsman said, Amazon let me do it, but only if you bought enough Amazon stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it lets me do it only because I order my reorders through Amazon.
Yeah.
So
I've heard that friends that have started blogs to review books, they can't review on Amazon anymore. Yeah.
They don't make this easy on us, I tell you. They're turning into the enemy pretty much. Christian Basil asks, now this is a legit question with a non-legit ending. Michaela, when are you doing the audiobooks? And he adds that he's a cheap voiceover whore.
Well, that's the thing, Christian. I would really love your voice for Hawk's voice, but I don't know how to do audiobooks. I haven't got the slightest clue. And my day job has kept me busy until now. So this winter I can dig into that and figure that all out, but I don't have a clue.
Talk to me.
Well, of course. That's why I network. Networking, people. It works.
That's true.
So yeah, I just haven't had time.
Yes. Well, I'll announce it tomorrow. But a long-delayed project is finally going to see the light of day soon. Speaking of which, Christian Basil says, I'm following Michaela Jade, just Andy doesn't like it when I stand outside under the bush.
He's in bed. He doesn't know.
Yeah, doesn't care.
It's fine.
Really, he's never complained about me yet. Anyway, Cindy Kep wants to know, what's your favorite movie?
That's a toss-up between Braveheart and The Legends of the Falls.
And why?
See? Well, Legends of the Falls, because it's native. It's got that native element, but it's because I'm a half-breed too. So I'm half native and I'm half Heinz 57. So that movie for me was, there's white folk or a guy who's white trying to live as a native, and the native is trying to teach him from the time he's a young boy. So that stuck with me. That was like, that's my jam. And then Braveheart, because he fought for freedom, and who doesn't fight for freedom? And at our core, that's what we all want. We want freedom to do what we want to do. So for me, Braveheart wasn't even as much as the Scottish Highlands as it was the freedom. Mm-hmm. He just fought for his way of life. He didn't want to be ruled by the king.
That's fantastic. And Cindy Kep, of course, our fount of information, our ombudsperson, says PenCon 2021 is September 9th through the 11th. They're very good. And Cindy's supposed to be there too.
Yeah, I heard.
Amy Hale and me. And
we are going to have so much fun. Shenanigans all around.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm staying at the hotel this year. I think you should. Yeah, and cleavage sells. Well,
it does. It does.
Yeah, it does, brother. It does. No, anyway. Cindy Cap would like to know, do you work on one project at a time, or do you have several irons in the fire?
I got several irons in the fire, and they're always hot. I'm always juggling something, and I'm like, I gotta get this done! And it's all my doing. I'm an idiot. I should focus on one and get it done and move along, and then I can get the others done. And it never works that way.
Yeah, I can't throw stones aquatic, and so yeah, I feel you. Now, Sarah would like to know, what would Christian do if Michaela and I were in the same room?
Many naughty things.
Yes, Carl Winston says melt, and I'm thinking, clean up on aisle 3.
Is that what aisle those are in?
Yeah, he's good with his hands. And Sarah says, first she mocks Carl with her laughter and says, I want to see him stumble over himself for a minute. That's probably very likely to happen.
We'd probably turn him into a little schoolboy. Yeah,
that's true. The little schoolboy on all of us. But anyway, we have reached the end of your questions. So to give you a moment to generate some more questions, how about we talk about our sponsors here? We actually have sponsors now.
Sponsors?
We have sponsors. Yes, we are sponsored. This episode is sponsored by Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you. And they're the ones responsible. Let me kill the banner because it cuts off part of their message here. And if you like stuff like this, we will run their banner, and then we're going to show an example of one of the things they do. They do paperback covers. They also do videos and help with your advertising. And here is a couple of examples.
From author Brian K. Morris comes a classic hero in a high-flying, fast-paced, and action-packed steampunk adventure. The original Skyman battles the Master of Steam with an introduction by comics icon and historian Roy Thomas. A Rising Tide, an Ace Comics publication. Available now in print or digital format on Amazon.com.
Now you know why I run that every chance I get. Isn't that gorgeous?
It is. It's awesome.
Yeah. Now, do you have a book trailer or anything like that?
I have looked at a couple on some sites, like Period Images does a lot of historical images for romance books, and they have a couple that they've pre-done with some of their models. And then I saw some on Deposit Photos that were kind of interesting. But I haven't yet.
Mm-hmm.
Here again, it's the lack of know-how and I've been really busy with work.
Understood.
I feel like it's all like coming. I'm like, I got all these things I'm going to do, and I'm getting laid off in, a couple weeks. And yeah, that's where my head's at right now.
Yes. She does. What you work for?
I work for a landscape company, and I do like what you would see like True Green or Spring Green out doing. I fertilize lawns, so it's in the truck, out of the truck, in the truck, out of the truck.
So that's why she's getting laid off. It's not like me. She will be going back to work, unlike me.
But I get winters off, so no excuses. This winter, book 2 gets published, book 3 gets written, book 4 gets started. Yeah, so no excuses. Hold me to that.
Okay, fine. I will. Just forget all the... Yeah. I deserve that. I earned that. I really do. Volcana, Aquatic. Let me go down the list. Skyman Adventure Magazine. Oh yeah. And here I started another project. So, and I've got I've got a book assignment too. So I haven't talked about that yet. So, but it's gonna be fun. Now we'll get a couple comments here, and then we'll go to another question. Sarah says the illustrations are amazing. Yes, Jeffrey Hayes does amazing work. He really does. He's really easy to deal with. He will be doing the cover to my Doc Saga book. So and Cindy Kep says, fantastic. Thank you. And so please check out plasmafiregraphics.com. They also have a page here on Facebook. And thank you, Plasma Fire Graphics, for sponsoring this episode. Cindy Kep has an excellent question here from YouTube. Has this year changed the way your writing works, or is it business as usual? How has the My Sharona Miley Cyrus Peter pandemic affected your writing and your publishing this year?
Honestly, I said at the beginning of this, well, I think I said at the end of last year, I said 2020 is my bitch. And basically the only thing that has changed, and it hadn't really even affected me, was that all the cancellations of the signings, because I'd never been to one. So I still haven't been to one really. So, so really for writing, it hasn't changed. And the fact that I don't have to deal with the publisher, and I don't have to wait for them, and then they have to wait for me, and vice versa. It hasn't changed. And in fact, I kicked it into high gear, and 2020 is my bitch.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Very cool. And that's, that's the sort of thing I love hearing. I really do. Because, you probably experienced it too, Michaela, where, oh, I can't write. I'm suffering. The world is suffering. And it's like, well, I got crap to do.
Yeah. Bye. I'm busy. Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't want to sell any books, and get out of my way. I got things to do. Carl Witzman said he is getting ready to nag. Yeah.
And that's fine. I need that. I need that little, hey, did you write today? Hey, get on it. Okay. All right. I'm going.
Yeah. We all need that. I have one at home. Now, here Sarah asks, where is Michaela located? Which state?
Right smack dab in the middle of Illinois. There is nothing around me for an hour's drive.
You're probably closer to what, Peoria, I would say?
I'm closer to Peoria, but if you look on a map, I am like smack dab in the middle. No matter where you drive, it takes about an hour to get somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Sarah is in the Mattoon area.
Ah, okay.
So you're not that far apart, actually.
Not really, no.
Because I think I'm about
we could do like a meetup thing.
See, the thing is, and we have talked about having a Sarah Con.
We could do that.
But due to the fact that we are having numerous spikes in coronavirus infections right now, Sarah is playing it safe, and we urge everyone else to. We're not over this yet. So, and Carl Witzman says, have you already seen all the internal movies for all the Warrior books already? Are some of them still percolating? Have you
Some of them are still happening, yeah. Book
have you started
3.
The
screenplay? No. Book 3, I've got a scene in my head that is a pivotal scene, and I wrote that scene, or kind of wrote it. It's not perfect, but I wrote it, and now like the whole rest of the book has to come together. And I thought, God, how can I write the middle of the book? But honestly, that's how I wrote Warrior Secret. I had this scene in my head that would not leave me alone, and I wrote it down. And for all the years that I worked on Warrior Secret, it was, I do a little bit in front of that scene and a little bit behind that scene, because I have to get into it and I have to read it and get that movie playing again before I know what happens next.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's see. Of course, here's a vital question from Cindy Cap. Do the shrubberies come with knights that say "nee"?
I have no idea.
You don't get the joke, do you?
Nope.
Never seen Monty Python and the Holy Grail?
No.
Okay, we got something we got to fix here.
Friends?
Yes. Suddenly you see our friends list number just like dropping like a stone. And Sarah says, "You're nearish me. We do need to meet up." Yeah. Probably Champaign would be the best place for you to. It's about, I think, an hour and a half from you, Michaela, and it's about an hour or so for Sarah.
Actually, if she's over west of me, we could probably even do something like Galesburg.
Actually, no, she's kind of south and east of you.
Okay.
Because she's almost due south of Champaign.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, whatever. We'll work it out.
Yeah, there we go. And Ed Williams, hey, Brian, #inspiration. Good to see you tonight, Ed. Thanks for tuning in. And Molly Daniels, thank you for being here. Keep her talking. Computer's almost booted up. So, Michaela, you and I are just going to have to repeat the last hour and 38 minutes. Yeah, no problem. We don't need to come up with anything original now. Joe Dog McKeel says, I have driven through New Illinois a few times. It is so flat up there you can watch your dog run away for 3 days.
Almost. I mean, like, Kansas has us beat. Come on now.
Not by much.
Hey, now. I have trees. And hills. Not mountains, but hills.
Well, that's true. You have to wait till you get to like southern Illinois till you start seeing some real hills, unfortunately. But the rest of it is it's almost like Pellucidar. It's almost like Pellucidar for you Edgar Rice Burroughs fan. And let's see. And now Joe Dog McKeel's getting interrogated by Cindy Kep. Have you been to West Texas? And now here comes Carl Witzman with commentary. Yeah, brace yourself. As long as the book gets written, the order doesn't matter till the end.
Yep. You don't have to. That's the thing. You don't have to read book 1, book 2, book 3. It's just the story. So if you read book 2, you'll go, wait a minute. I want to know more about how it started? Well, go read book 1.
Yep. There you go. Own them all. Own the complete series. And Cindy kept that as a week-long adventure, says Joe Dog McKeel. And Molly Daniels says, I've been to Texarkana and Amarillo. And Eric Hawkins is shocked here. What? Never seen the Holy Grail? Oh, my. And
I've heard about it. I know what it is. I have not seen it.
It's actually it's a clever little movie. It really is. I also like Life of Brian by Monty Python because it has a line that I will not utter here, but it's a very blasphemous line, and I love it. Anyway, I'll tell you after the show. Carl Wisman says Danville would be better. Just saying.
That could work. I'm not opposed.
I'm not either. I'm about an hour and 20.
The whole gang together.
We were getting the band together again. It's Michaela and Sarah Khan, all your favorite flavors together. And Sarah says, all I remember about Monty Python is I fart in your general direction. Yes, that's from there.
Maybe that's why I didn't watch it.
You English pig dogs. Here we go. Christian Basil, champagne with Michaela Jade and Sarah, and my thoughts are smiling. Like a Girl Scout in front of a marijuana shop. Well, enough about Christian's thoughts about Girl Scouts and marijuana. Anyway, Molly Dale says, and I'm on the internet. Woot! And she says, hi, Michaela. The gang's all here now. Yeah, seriously. Yeah, because the only person not here is Cookie.
Oh. Is she working? Are you making her work again?
Yeah, of course. She's got a layabout husband to take care of.
Slave driver.
I know, I'm terrible. And Cindy Kep celebrates Molly's arrival, as do I. And Magi J Caretaker, glad to see you. Have you ever had a stalker at cons other than
Not
me?
yet. Not
other
yet.
Than me.
Just Brian. Just Brian. But he's okay.
Yeah, she knows how to handle me. But anyway, moral. I don't mean that way.
Cookie.
Yeah. I'll give you half an hour to draw a crowd. Anyway, Cindy Kep, do you play any computer games?
No. In fact, when I get a new phone, I shut them. I like delete all the games off of it. The guys at the store are like, "What? Why doesn't your phone have any games?" I'm like, "Because I deleted them. Because I'm not supposed to. I mean, I don't use the damn things."
Yeah, I only have my phone here, like when I broadcast. One to stop it from ringing if it does go off, and it did go off earlier. But I stopped it. I got good reflexes. And the other thing is I watch the show, the morning show at least, because I can't acknowledge everyone here because it's a different format. But we appreciate everyone being here and drank. And there's Christian Basil answering Magi Jake, not yet. Ted Davies Artistry says he loves Galesburg. My buddy got married there. Let me know when. Hey, dude, when we get this going, yeah. And probably Sarah's like, I just meant her and me, not you goofs. So
I'm flexible. I go to both ways. Oh, wait, that's not what we were talking about. Yeah, grab those drinks, guys.
What's a little character assassination between friends? Anyway, Magi J Caretaker, good to see you, my friends. I just got off a 5-hour shift at work. Well, it's good seeing you. Thank you, Magi Jake. Michaela Jade is a very popular author, up and coming, I would say, and a dear friend. So if anyone has any further questions, here we go. Oh, here's a good one from Sarah. Do you prefer reading digital or regular books?
You know, I always said I would never read a digital book. What's the point? It's stupid. There's no way. And now I'm like, oh, can you send that to me? I have this Kindle thingy. Can you send it to me? Because you can get books like that. Just bam, you got a book. And I used to be one of those people that like would go to a garage sale and there'd be a box of books. And I'd buy the whole box. I didn't care what was in it. I was just like, a box of books. And so now that I'm an author, I'm like, do you know how many reviews I could have left? I could have had a career leaving reviews. I had no idea. None.
There you go. But you're happier doing this, I would suspect, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, heck yeah. Yeah.
Good. Very cool. Now, Molly Daniels asks, you probably already covered it, but are you coming to Kokomo Con?
No, I don't think so. When the heck was that?
October 17th from 10 to 5 at the Kokomo Convention Center, 1500 North Reed Road in Kokomo, Indiana. Masks will be required. There will be sanitation stations, and I will be there along with Luke Stone of Hybrids, the Sons of Gods, as well as Charles F. Millhouse of the Captain Hawkland and Pulp Reality series. And I think Molly Daniels may be showing up, I hope. And Michaela, I can always get you in there if you want, probably.
Maybe. Because now
it's a comic book convention.
Right, that's okay. I fit in with the nerds. It's fine. But now that things have opened up, maybe we'll have to see.
We can talk. Yeah. And Eric Hawkins says, I think I am on the wrong side of the state. No, you aren't. Anyway, he's on the west. He's near St. Louis.
I like St. Louis.
Yeah, St. Louis is okay. Pretty close to Alton, Illinois. So, Cindy Gap has another great question. What's your favorite writing snackage?
Doritos, and only the blue bag. The red bag does not exist.
You heard it here, folks. Yeah, and
there's
Christian
a battle
Basil.
in our house about it. I'm the only one that eats the Cool Ranch Doritos, and everyone else likes the stupid red bag. So
I like the Cool Ranch, and I'm not huge on ranch. I really don't like ranch dressing that much. So, but they're pretty good. Michaela Jade, yes, that's exactly what we're talking about. And Carl is out of whiskey. This is a Fox News alert. Carl Witzman is out of whiskey. We're now taking
you had a coupon one time.
That's right, by God. And it sounds like he got the coffee-infused Kraken. Good for you. And Molly Daniels is out of wine. This has been another Fox News alert.
Holy crap.
And I know. And Rick Bradley, sorry we didn't say hello to you earlier, my friend, but what genre do you want to tackle in the future? Do you, now you mentioned staying in your lane here as far as your genres, but do you have another genre in you?
I haven't written it publicly yet, but probably erotica. That's probably where it's going. Because I find so many scenes in these books where I'm like, this is historical. He wouldn't have known to say that. He wouldn't have called it that. Or she wouldn't have said that. Or, shit, gotta pull that out.
I hear that. Eric Hawkins, but I do live 5 minutes from the most haunted town in all of Illinois, maybe the country.
Which town is that?
Oh God, I can't. I'm thinking is it Alton?
Is it Alton?
It might be Alton.
That's where the torture museum is that we must go visit, I'm told.
Oh, I'm with you. I'm with you if that happens.
One of my daughters is all about the horror and stuff like that, so she loves that stuff. And I said, "There's a torture museum. Do you want to hit that on our road trip?" And she was like, duh."
Yeah. Hell, we'll meet you down there, me and Cookie. And if not, I'll leave her at home. Anyway, Magi J Caretaker asked Michaela, if you could, would you buy a sparkly jacket? The reason he's asking it is that he's got these beautiful sparkly tuxedo jackets. Now, do you think... I don't know that would go with your wardrobe, though.
It would depend on how sparkly. I like sparkles.
It is big time sparkle, and they come in 8 different... sparkle flavors. Yeah. So, Christian Basil, Michaela Jade, come to Orlando. It's right under Champaign, under 36 hours under Champaign. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Honestly, Florida is on the road trip list, but I don't know when.
Yeah, there we go. And that's the thing he was telling us about on his show earlier, The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, thelegendofthetravelingtardis.com, also on Facebook. And please join him. He's nearing 40,000 likes on that. And you can be one of his
incredible voice. Oh, my God. That is so good.
Yeah, seriously. I'm as cis male as they come, but still, I just like get, between the sheets, if you know what I mean. Anyway, but yeah, he's got some sparkly. Magi Jake turned me on to some sparkly jackets there. So, I'll send you the link. Rick Bradley says, "I fit in with the nerds," says someone that hasn't seen Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
But listen, like anything historical, I know. Mm-hmm. So I may not know like the Monty Python or that sort of thing, but historical stuff, I'm a nut. And there are people that are like, You just said what? What does that mean? Like, how are you not educated?
Well, that's Monty Python and the Holy Grail. It doesn't get more historical than that. You can
I'll have
learn
to
about
watch it because now I feel like I'm missing something.
Actually, yeah, it's actually sincerely, it's a funny film. You learn about the Holy Hand Grenade of Antioch and all kinds of useful things. So anyway, and now Carl Westman is putting Cool Ranch Doritos on the shopping list, and Cool Ranch is something we'd have to share or fight over, says Sarah. There we go.
Hey, they make Sam's Club. They make the big bags.
There you go. One for each of you. That's the way it works. And greetings from hell, says Keith Brown, cartoonist. Glad to see you, Keith. Keith's a very funny guy, and check out his website or his Facebook page. He's got some really cartoons about some funny demons. So, and Molly Dale says, yes, the red bag does not exist at my house either.
There we go. We can be friends.
There we go. And Cindy Cap wants to know, do you watch any organized sports or do you watch any disorganized sports?
In this house, there's a theory that if you can't die from it, it's not really a sport. So I got lucky enough to marry a man who does not watch baseball or football but however, we do watch things like Monster Jam and I mean, we're outdoorsy, but I'm not going to sit and watch somebody else go fishing. I'm going fishing. So no, not really. No.
Oh, yeah. But and besides, anything that isn't pro wrestling is rigged.
Yeah.
Only pro wrestling is real. Okay. And Christian Basil's being helpful again. Warrior Secret After Dark.
I could publish that. I could so do that.
And Warriors Victoria's Secret. There we go. Won't
That's
be a secret.
Too lacy for me.
She says that now. Anyway, Alton, Illinois. And let's see. And Carl Wisman says, Michaela, I gotta pull that out. Drank, out of whiskey. And now here we go. Eric Hawkins has now got a useful suggestion. Pocket cell phone erotica. I think Christian will pre-order that book.
Yeah, I should write that tonight, shouldn't I? That'd be a short book.
I think so. Well, that may be all he needs. Molly Daniel says, referring to erotica, there are times when I'm writing as Molly and all of a sudden a word will hit the screen, meaning Kinsey Michaels is trying to take over the brain again. That's her nom de guerre, her war name there. And Magi Jake, yes, the jacket I have is really sparkly. You can see it a mile away. Yeah, you shine that even a weak light on that thing, you're going to blind people. You really will. Sarah, no haters for those who haven't seen the Monty Python movies. I couldn't handle it. Well, it can get a little intense.
I like Sarah even better now.
There you go. We're just going to get you in those, was it Clockwork Orange kind of things where your eyeballs are, strapped open and you have to watch. Christian Basil, Holy Grail and Life of Brian. How historical can one get? Date night. Michaela Jade and I are watching History of the World Part 1. Hump or Death.
Oh, Lord.
Christian Basil, please report to HR. Christian Basil at HR. And extreme sports are the best.
Yes. Yeah, if you can't die from it, it's not a sport. I mean, jousting, I'm all about jousting. Let's go.
That's true. I used to watch Australian rules football. It's like soccer, but the play doesn't end until someone either scores or is crippled.
I like scoring.
Yeah, hi, folks. That's all for tonight, folks. See y'all. Michaela and I got to talk. Anyway.
Did you really want to invite me on this show? I mean, you knew where it was going.
Yeah, I know that. Why do you think I'm wanting you here? Anyway, Teal Shively says, okay, you guys have a great night. I have to get up early and I need my sleep. Night, guys. Mwah, Lynn. Have a good night, Lynn. Glad you were here. And there we go. Oh, Magi J. Caretaker would like to introduce himself to you. He is a gospel magician. He is the vice president of his local Society of American Magicians Fellowship of Christian Magicians, member and a balloon artist. And it is awesome to meet you.
Well, it's nice to meet you too. Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, he's really good. I saw him at NonCon a couple of weeks ago.
I heard you talking about it.
Yeah, he's really talented. And Molly Daniel says her dad used to work for Frito-Lay, and her faves are Wavy Lay's sour cream, and onion and Funyuns. Okay.
I've not had onion and Funyuns.
Funyuns are, when I tried them when I was a kid, I really didn't care for them, but I had some recently. I'm like, this is like, the step up from pork rinds, but they're not bad. And here we go. I don't know if I should read this one. Oh, what the hell. Michaela will show us about breastplates, says Christian Basil. Thank you. She'll be appearing on the Historical Fencing Guild this Friday with Nick Tucker. You could.
So do that. I could.
You seriously, you ought to think about it. And Cindy Cap says, one of my squawkateals would have been a shoo-in for the X Games. She would walk off the side of her cage, then start flapping about halfway down. But, well, you talk about sports that you could die from. Then I put her back in her cage and she'd do it again. So apparently she was playing football without a helmet. I know, says Carl Wisman, when I was writing the last book that there were times my character was doing things that I didn't want to even write, but those parts were important to the plot.
Yeah.
And XMC, says Christian Basil, was awesome. Surprisingly, no one died from it. Well, just keep trying, I say. The work is its own reward.
We're putting in enough effort.
Yeah, there we go. And he's threatening us again. Don't make me jump in on this live stream.
Whatever.
Yeah, really. And Molly Daniels says, I got hooked on American Ninja Warrior last winter. I got hooked on the show it's based on from Japan. And it's nutty. It's totally, it makes the American version look restrained. And Molly Daniels, we got to try Funyuns before they hit the market. Well, lucky for you. And I'll let you read this one. I'm not sure I'm going to read it on the air. Not water sports. Well, it's not for everyone. The line is forming at the HR office, and he's most of it.
That paperwork is getting deeper.
It is, man. It is. Magi Jake Caretaker says, instead of chips, I usually eat homemade egg sandwiches with sausage. Shut up, Christian. And with a bottle of Gatorade. Oh, you've got into the mood here.
Wait, but what flavor Gatorade?
Oh, that's true. That's very important.
Yeah, it is.
Some are better than others. Some are better than others. So, well, this has completely gone off the rails, I'm glad to say.
You knew it would.
I knew
it would.
We always we do, and that's one of the reasons I wanted you here, because you're entertaining. You're a fantastic writer, and Christian rules the red Gatorade. I like the white Gatorade.
Mine's green.
Mine's white and blue is the runner-up. But anyway, Christian, we still love you, or would kill for the chance to. And Glacier Freeze, that's the one. That's okay. My favorite. That's my favorite. Magi Jake Caretaker. Thank you. So anyway, we caught up with the comments, and all I gotta say is thank you for being here. You've been amazing as always. Well, thank you for allowing yourself to be had. Anyway, especially this crowd, where I'm the ring, I'm not the ringleader, I'm the referee. And the blue, the blue is good. Okay, you've redeemed yourself, Christian. You can take a break from the HR office now. So anyway, after you finish the drink there, Michaela, again, thank you for being here. You've been fantastic.
You're welcome. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, we will do this again sometime.
Good. I love being on your show.
I love having you here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the full screen here, and so you can tell everybody about. Yeah, I know. Brace yourself, and shut up, Christian. We caught up anyway. So there, deal with it. So anyway, and we are missing you already. Cindy kept. Thank you for being here. CKOEPP.com, and have a good night, friends. You too, Magi Jake Caretaker. Thank you so much. And Molly Daniels, thanks for sticking around so I could join in. That's
no problem.
That's the only reason we were here. And the blue tastes blue. Yum, says Sarah. Isn't that dissociative mental disease where you taste sounds and things like that? But that's okay. And here we go. Teresa Dunn has it. Warrior porn.
Yes, that's what I will write. Yes. It is happening. Let me write that shit down.
Yeah, you better get that copy down, girlfriend. And it better have dinosaurs in it already. And Christian Basil says, miss you already, author MJ.
Have a dinosaur thing. That would work.
Yeah, now we're talking. Well, maybe we'll collaborate on this. Rick Radley, everyone take care, stay creative, and Warrior Porn Hub. I like it. So on that note, we still are on the air, and we are going to give this over. And here, this is so true. We'll let Carl have the last comment. Michaela is a treat on any show.
Thank you, Carl.
She really is. You are a treat, darling. And so now I'm going to give you the whole screen to let you so you can tell everybody where to find your books and where they can find you if they want to follow you and stalk you like I do.
Okay, so if you want to stalk me like Brian does, you can find me most of the time on Facebook. I do have a website, authormckaylajade.com. You can find some videos on YouTube, not those kind, where I talk about writing and stuff. I'm trying to get more of those put up, so keep checking back on the YouTube page. And then I have Instagram, and you can find my books anywhere you buy books. You'll find Warrior's Secret, and Warrior's Trust will be out soon. And the book I co-wrote is Obsidian Hearts, and you'll find that is the first one of a trilogy.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Now, are you still doing any broadcasting? I know you were for a while.
I probably will this winter. Because I'm getting my butt in gear and getting organized, and I think that's in the plans.
Excellent. And we've gotten some good comments to close out the show here. Thank you all for your great comments, and most of all, thank you, Michaela.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right. Hey, hang around for a minute so we can gab after the show if you want, and I'll close us out. How's that sound?
Okay.
All right. So I am going to let her finish drinking there while I blather on to the end of the show. Thank you all for showing up for a lively episode of Nevermind, or not, that's the morning show. Why do I always introduce this as the morning show? But anyway, no, this is Clever Title Pending. But we do want to say a huge thank you to Plasma Fire Graphics for sponsoring this episode, When the Look of Your Book Matters to You. And please join us next week. Who's our guest next week? It is going to be Demon Phil Locklear. He is a broadcaster. He is a comic creator. He's a great guy and a real inspiring person. So we hope you'll tune in next week, find out more about what he does. And he does a lot of great broadcasting. So if any of you have a Jones for trying to put together your own broadcast, something like what I do, except more organized, Demon Phil's the guy you want to listen to. So anyway, we're going to have him next week. It's going to be great. We'll be back at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central Time. And be sure to check out our website, risingtide.pub, because that's where you can sign up for our free monthly newsletter. The last issue went out on the 1st, and the next issue will go out on the 1st of November, as we follow up with Halloween. So anyway, we provide on that site motivation, inspiration, and education, just like we do on the Rising Tide Publications page on Facebook. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, if you've enjoyed this at all, please give this a big thumbs up. We would appreciate that because it helps in our visibility on that platform. Also, please subscribe and ring that bell so you'll be notified of all of our future appearances, including special videos that we're going to be starting out real darn soon. I also have a Patreon page I've started up. You'll see the address in the preamble to this show. Down below, actually, if you're watching on YouTube, it's patreon.com/Brian K. Morris, all one word, all lowercase. And let's see, what else have we got here? And if you're watching on the Indie Event channel or on the Rising Tide Publications channel on Facebook, please like those pages for one. It helps in their visibility as well. And also, you can see what your fellow creative people are up to, okay? Thank you again to McKayla Jade for being here, and thank you all for being a great audience, and thank you for your questions. Please share this video, whatever platform you're watching on, and if you're listening to us on iHeartRadio or Spotify or Amazon Music, thank you for being here. Thank you for taking us along with you, and please share the link to your friends on social media. We would appreciate that. So in closing, this is Brian K. Morris for Clever Title Pending and everyone, and for Plasma Fire Graphics, saying don't forget, stay smart, stay safe, wash your hands, never apologize for being awesome. Thank you all for being here tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow morning on Nevermind the Furthermore, and next week we will see you on Clever Title Pending with Demon Phil Locklear. Take care, everyone.
This is the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Subscribe to us wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Also catch us on the HWWS Web TV YouTube channel. Subscribe today and become part of the legend.
Thank you for tuning in to Clever Title Pending, a Rising Tide Publications and Brian K. Morris production. A member of Comic Book Advocating Network and sponsored by GeekInsider.com. Become part of our show with sponsorship and advertising opportunities. For details, contact advertising at geekinsider.com or visit podcast.geekinsider.com. The Geek Insider podcast is available on your favorite app, so please hit the follow button and share it out to your friends. Because if you don't, you might have to turn in your geek card.